Welcome to the MoneyWise Channel, place where we talk about inspirational things and about setting up goals. Today we will be speaking about more emails that you guys have sent me. Keep sending them, keep giving me questions to answer. I'm gonna keep giving my opinion and some facts about it. In this email, someone asked me about the basics of life. I think that's a very interesting topic, so I'm gonna give you my opinion of it. First of all, there's different basics of life. So I know they were asking more about spiritual, but I have to speak on the physical side too. So on the physical side, we all know you need those basics like food, water, fire, shelter, toilet paper, air. There's things that every human would need before you separate into our own individual things that we may need in our life, right? We all need those basic things like shelter, food, water, fire. We see it on all the shows when they're out on an island or somewhere, or they get planted somewhere, and while they're there, they have to start fire. They need to find shelter, and it's certain things, they're gonna need some water. They're gonna have to figure it out. So those are the basics of life when you get into the physical nature. Now, to get more into what they asked me as far as the spiritual side, I think we also need to understand that the basic of life, if you're more in a religious side, will be like blind spots, with grace. It's blind spots with grace because basically your higher power puts you in positions to have these little things that you can't see. And that grace and that mercy will help you to learn from or to overcome things. And that's part of the basics of life, of learning. It's like some people say the Bible broke down as an acronym is basic information before leaving earth. The Bible, basic information before leaving earth. And that would go along with what I'm saying as far as blind spots with grace and mercy. Is these situations that you're put in to learn how to overcome them and how to maneuver with them would actually build your character as a person. So that would be the basics of life if you want to come from a religion standpoint. Then you have the part of what, the definition of life, far as they would say here on earth, is just a biology concept, dealing with the characteristics, the state of the separation between dead and alive. So, that would just be life as a biology concept, dealing with the characteristics and the state of the separation between dead and alive. We know what dead is. That's no heartbeat, nothing happening, basically no life. And then alive would have life. It would be something that's continue to grow, move forward, heartbeat, blood circulating, things of that nature, right? So that's the difference between those two. And then you work your way around into the spiritualism side. For spiritualism, the spiritual side, which I was actually asked about. And in that, I think the basics of life will be more of understanding your imagination, understanding meditation, understanding basic breathing, how to breathe into your nose and breathe out your mouth, and understand the power of breath, how to, or when you want to settle something real tight, like, all these different breath meditations and movements of what you need to do to control all parts of your avatar. That would be getting into the spiritual side, because your breath is the spirit. That's why, in the Bible, it talks about how he put breath inside the body. The body itself was made from dirt, if you believe in that concept. So it was the air that was put in his body that brought the spiritual side. That's why the Bible also speaks of how the body is weak, but the spirit is strong. So we would understand the concept that the physical part of your body, that's the physical side. And that's why we deal with why you would need water, food, shelter, fire, and all those type of things be for the physical side. For your spiritual side, that's your breath. And that's what you need. For that, you need to work your imagination, you need to work your meditation, you need to work your breathing to understand the power that you have concerning the spiritual side. Now, let's be clear. Basics of life can be seen however you want to see it, right? You can have your own version, because this can get into an individual situation. Like, well, I don't need this. I don't care for cooking, so I don't need no fire. I don't get cold, so that wouldn't be one of my basics of life. Okay, we're not going back and forth on that. I'm just saying these are things that majority of the people will call basics of life. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm coming from that perspective. Totally open to hear what you have to say in the comments or in my emails. But this is where I'm coming from as far as this. I'm trying to cover up the physical, the basis of that, and the spiritual basis. Now, why am I always speaking about imagination, meditation, and I always talk about how you should breathe? Because I really believe that's the whole spiritual basics. I think that's the basics of spirituality. I think you need to know how to sit quietly and just breathe correctly. Most of us don't know how to breathe. So once you figure how to use your breath and you see how that works, because a lot of people are messing up their breath, like they're doing drugs, they're smoking all the time, they're drinking all the time, they're doing all this to minimize the power of the breath, because they're doing everything to stop the breath or to taint the breath. And then they don't want to drink any water, they don't want to do anything that can purify the breath, what's flowing inside their body. Also, their mind, the things they think about is not pure all the time. It's a lot of craziness, a lot of drama that they're going through. So that will stunt the growth of you also. So I would say this, really take the time to work the basics of your life. If it's from a spiritual side of sitting quietly, right? We don't want to go back and forth between prayer and meditation, because I know I've seen a debate between that. But I'm just saying, sit quietly. If it's with your higher power, is with it by yourself, however you want to see yourself sitting quiet, sit quiet and just breathe through your nose all the way in, and then breathe out. Breathe through your nose and breathe out. Just be real calm. Be real calm and do that a couple times, and just clear your mind, and then put your mind on your intent. Put your intent. To me, that's the basics of life. A lot of people say, you got to work hard, you got to work hard. Well, I think the world is more spiritual than physical. So whatever you're going at, you need to set your intent spiritually and then physically show up. Let your hands not be the only motivation of what you do. Let your hands be a helper of your mind. Let the physical be a helper of your spiritual. To me, that would be the basics of life, by taking both of these things and weaving them together, as we do anyway. If you really think about it, we're always weaving our spiritual and our physical together. Why not master it and do it on purpose? If you on purpose master your spiritual side and your physical side to work together, take care of yourself spiritually, do the breaths, meditate, prayer, on the spiritual side, and on the physical side, drink some water, take care of yourself, keep yourself healthy, a healthy diet, take your vitamins, and you weave these things together and you work them together. I believe you will have the basics of life. No need to be extra about anything if you don't do the basics. No need to work out every day if you won't drink any water. You know what I'm saying? No need to say you pray all the time if you don't understand prayer. It's like, get the basics of life and never look past some people hate basic. I don't like that word basic. I want to be extra. Well, you need to get basic so you have the foundation. Then you can build anything extra on top of that. So I hope that made sense to you. Everything that I said, I hope you learned something. And always remember this, no matter what, as you're learning, remember to smile. Smile every day. Sometimes just smile even if it hurts. And also remember, plans may change, but goals stay the same. Like and subscribe to this MoneyWise channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Yep.